Helps if I unmute. We are live. Hey, everybody. If you're out there in the chat, let us know if you can hear us. Let us know how our audio sounds. If it's too loud, too low, let us know. Should we introduce ourselves, Jason? I guess we should.
I think we should.
I'm Brian.
I'm Jason.
Yeah, and we've been reacting to The Legend of Vex'ahlia. Most recently, Season 3, Season 2, and Season 1 are... Yes, sounds good. Thank you, Teresa. Very much appreciate it. Yeah, Seasons 1, Seasons 2, and Season 3 are all up on the channel. If you are here, I'm assuming that you all have seen those reactions. So thank you for supporting us by watching those. And also thank you for showing up tonight for this live stream. Hello, Maggie. Hello, Little Ghost. Thank you guys so much for being here. So this is the first stream, Jason, that we've done in 10 years.
Yeah.
Like I was looking back at the YouTube channel. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it's been like that long.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's crazy to me. For those of you who are, you know, I don't expect anybody who watched our videos like 10 years ago to like still be here. Yeah. What's up, Puffy Cloud? Thank you so much for being here. Puffy is a consistent commenter on our videos. I appreciate the support. But yeah, for those of you who are, you know, newer to our channel, which I assume is most everybody, newer, I'm meaning in like the past like year or whatever. We started this YouTube channel 10 years ago. Actually, probably more than that, I think. At this point, I think it was 2014. So 10 years ago, we did like reactions to movie trailers, and we had some like movie news shows and things like that. And yeah, it's crazy because we did like super fights during that live stream, and we did Cards Against Humanity. And I'm pretty sure it was like when Cards Against Humanity was like first becoming like a thing. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, didn't we lose? We lost to...
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if we should go, you know, too far into that.
No, I mean,
the actual players that
we
lost
can
to a not real player.
So me, Jason, and our other friend Greg, we were playing, and we made a ghost deck or a ghost hand essentially, and basically played cards from random. But we, you know, mixed the cards up so we didn't know whose cards were whose or anything like that. And the ghost deck won that game. It was pretty funny. You can go back and watch that if you want. The audio is not the best. Technology and my knowledge of technology has gotten better over the years. Although when I was trying to figure out how to go live, I was starting to wonder like if I've reached that age where like
it's moved well past.
Yeah, like have I reached that? Like I'm only 34. Like have I reached that age where I just don't understand anymore? Little Ghost says, yeah, I am newer. Well, welcome to the channel. Really appreciate the support. Originally, this stream was going to be a kind of celebration of reaching 2,000 subs if we reach 2,000 subs after Season 3. But we didn't quite get there, but we still, you know, got close to 100 subs throughout Season 3. And so I wanted to reward those of you who like to support the channel. And so I want to reward you guys with that. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop those in chat, because we're going to do a little Q&A if you guys are curious about literally anything about, well, not anything. I won't say anything. But like if you guys have questions for us, like we'll answer them. And then also we'll every so often we'll react to either a behind the scenes video from The Legend of Vex'ahlia, or we'll react to a campaign moment from Critical Role that is relative to seasons 1, 2, or 3. So if you guys have any suggestions of like what moments you want us to watch or what behind the scenes video you'd be more interested in us watching, we'll do that here. We'll take your suggestions and figure out what we're actually going to do. But yeah, while you guys are asking questions and throwing in suggestions as to like what we should react to. I think it would be helpful just to kind of reiterate like our overall thoughts on the show. And I guess I'll start because Jason is the newbie to Critical Role and Legend of Vox Machina. I've known about Critical Role since 2018 is when I found it. So campaign 2 had already started, but I actually went back and watched all of campaign 1 before watching campaign 2. So campaign 1 was my introduction to Critical Role. And I do remember on one of our videos, can't remember if it was season 1 or season 2, one of our reactions, someone asked to see the statues that I have for Sideshow. Sideshow makes incredible Critical Role statues. So you can see a couple of them behind me. You can see Keyleth and Grog on the top shelf. But I have more. We're just kind of in the way. Let's see who we got. Jacob, thank you for the comment. Keyfish is a pretty iconic campaign moment that doesn't happen in The Legend of Vox Machina. Little Ghost says, yeah, Keyfish is pretty great. All right, so that is not one that I had thought of, so I will go ahead and search for that. Also, if you guys hear noise in the background, no, you don't. Okay. Yeah. If anybody else has any suggestions, go ahead and throw those out. Also, if you have any questions, you can also put those in the chat as well. But while we are on the topic of statues, I figured I would also give you guys a little extra view as to what statues I have. So let's see if this works. Look at that. I got a second screen. What's going on? So obviously back here, you can see, if you can duck Jason, I got Vex. Okay. Got Percy down here. And then way down here, you can barely see him because of the light is so dark, but I got Forged Stone back there. Obviously Keyleth is up on that shelf. And then I'll have to get another view, but I've got Vax. I've got all of Vox Machina, who we've seen so far in the Legend of Vox Machina. So Pike and Scanlan are on a shelf back here as well. Maybe later in the stream I'll get a better view of some of those. But Little Ghost says there is a little reference to Keyfish actually at the beginning of episode 6, season 3, when they are in the Chateau Short Halt. That is true. When they're jumping into the hot tub during the Scanlan song, Keyleth turns into a goldfish. And that is a nod to a campaign moment that the cast has said is not going to show up in the show just because it wouldn't really make sense to put it anywhere. And it's kind of, well, I'm not going to say anything about it, but we'll get into it here in a moment. Little Ghost says, cool statues. Thank you very much. They are my prized possessions. And for those of you who have been around for a while, let me go back to the front camera. Hello. Those of you who have been around for a while through our reactions to The Legend of Vox Machina, you'll notice that the background has changed quite a bit. I moved some bookshelves. I painted the walls. I put up my my awesome Taldore map from Devon Rue, which is great. So I am sporting all of my Critical Role love. So since Keyfish has been the main request so far, I guess we will go ahead and watch that campaign moment. This moment is about 7.5 minutes, so we will react to that in just a second. All right, let's go ahead and get into Kiki versus the Cliff. is the name of this video. So I'm curious if Jason's going to be able to figure out what happens here. Alrighty. And I want to make sure that the PC sound comes through as well. Oh, help if I unmute the video. There we go. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio from the video.
Maybe 65 feet down. There it is.
65 feet.
Under the water.
Under the water.
Oh.
That's 3 diving tanks for competitive diving.
So probably
3 diving tanks.
That's good insight.
Yeah.
Or your friend Keyleth.
Also, how did you go with that so quickly?
She's up top. Would I remember the spot in the fucking water if I went up and got her and brought her back down? Do I have enough time to do it?
I mean, you could try and remember it and then come back. And
Just
It's 15. It's 1,500.
Are we within earshot, earpiece shot?
not of her right now.
Oh.
No, you have to go back up.
Okay, I fly straight up from the spot so I don't lose it.
All right.
then
You're pretty much on the cusp of it. Like
Video audio is pretty quiet. Alrighty, let me turn it up a bit.
You get a little ways up and you.
And I say, Keyleth, can you swim?
Let me know if you guys, if that's better.
Yes.
Can you come help me get this diamond back?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Better? Alright, cool.
Am I on the cliff?
You're on the top of the cliff, yeah.
So they're trying to figure out how to get somebody from
I know.
an ocean, I guess, from a cliff.
Oh, are you really?
Can I do it?
It's a really high drop.
Just
Can I
let her
do
do
the
it. Just
Pocahontas
fucking
swan dive?
Okay, make an athletics check.
Yes.
Sail.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Okay. You get a few feet past the cliff edge. Not a majestic jump,
Uh-oh.
and the cliff is not completely sheer. It does slightly angle outward. So you leap off, and as you're falling, you can see you probably have about, I'd say about 300 feet or so before you're going to hit rock.
I'm gonna hit rock.
The side of the cliff.
The cliff is not
Falling
perfectly
300
straight.
feet
It's
to
like an
rock.
angle, and you're heading down to hit the rock.
I go whoops, and can I do like a gust against the cliff wall to push me back a little bit further?
Go and make a wisdom check. Just a straight wisdom modifier check.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That's good.
Just straight wisdom
Yes.
modifier. 20.
Okay. Like a gentle fart, you push yourself a little ways from the cliff, and it does. We'll say it does just enough of a shove where your trajectory changes slightly. You may or may not be right where the rock hits the surf.
Hmm.
You can test it or not. It's up to you.
Test it. Test it.
This was the end.
Don't kill yourself over this rock.
Travis is always just like, oh, I want to
Do it.
instigate. Yeah,
last
push the
one,
red button.
go, and turn into a goldfish.
Before you hit the water?
Or the rock?
Don't ask me questions.
I'm assuming the goldfish would make it easier
Terminal
to hit water.
velocity.
Yeah, but you're gonna
That's a
hit
good
rock.
point.
Goldfish are not magnetically attracted to water.
What about
Those are iron fish.
a flying fish or something so you can like maybe.
Oh,
I don't
shit.
think flying fish actually fly.
No, but
glide.
they got big fins.
They wiggle.
They do
Regardless, as you turn into a
Oh
goldfish,
no.
rocketing towards the base of the water.
Which goldfish have like,
Oh no.
well, they might say it, but
If I
Alright.
killed
He's
you.
taking a picture of it. He's taking a picture of
No,
it.
I'm
No,
not.
he's not. Because she's dead.
This is too many dice for me to roll.
I mean, I would just bob back to myself.
so there's a thing called fall
And any
damage
Additional damage would go over
in
into your-
D&D.
No, I know.
There's too many dice to roll,
Oh my
Marisha.
God,
So,
Oh, it's fine.
It's fine.
We're gods.
Are
It's
we?
fine.
She says as she dies on the
We're
rock.
basically gods.
Did you say we're
That would be-
gods? Why would you even tempt that shit right now?
Why am I drinking your
We're
coffee? I'm
close.
gonna stop right now.
Yeah, but we're not.
But we're not.
Oh, man.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Oh
no.
boy.
What is he doing?
Just you and me, sis. Just
No, no, no. Seriously though, what if she just died?
Yeah.
That would be kind of
you
amazing.
took 363 points of damage.
You are lying. You are
Wait.
lying.
That's below.
By hitting rocks?
By hitting rocks at terminal velocity at the it's what it's
gravity.
d6 per 10-foot fallen. Keyleth scatters across the edge of the rock, just crumples into the surf, and is now floating.
Wait, what? You are lying.
No!
What is that?
I love how all of their expressions just immediately change.
Yeah, they're like,
all of them.
oh
No,
shit.
she's dead. Keyleth is
She's
dead.
dead.
Floating in the water.
Yeah.
But
Instead of like turning it. Okay.
unrevivable death?
Probably revivable. You just gotta retrieve the body.
Hey, remember,
Oh my
Vex,
god! Oh my god!
The body and all the pieces.
I gave you a coin.
A revivify coin.
Wait,
Oh my
I
god!
thought you were trying to make it out like it's still in water.
Wait, you're dead.
I said the
Fish still die in
and they
water.
push.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, but
You jumped from 1,000
It's like the dumbest way to die.
feet of water or rocks, but you're like, yep.
I'm a golden god. I am having the best conversation with JB
Oh my
right now.
God.
I am really getting
okay,
to know
okay. I
about
have a
JB.
wait. I have a coin. I have a coin that. But here's the thing. Do I have to roll if I use the coin?
And now,
No? 'Cause,
now
like,
officially, every member of Vox Machina has died. Almost in battle. There's in some danger.
That took care of it.
That took care of it.
Broke the seal.
But didn't we have a rule the last one
literally
just
had a
stays dead?
Supposed to like turn into a flying creature and like
That's
save
up to
from this?
you.
I thought
That's
it was
literally your
gonna be
choice.
not that bad.
Okay.
Pickle.
I'm starting to sweat. Who sees it?
I
I
see.
don't see it.
We would all
The only person that sees it is
It doesn't matter.
Vex.
It doesn't matter. We would all
Vex,
know.
you
Oh
walk
my gosh.
and just like it's a scatter of red mess, and you just see her floating in the water. I know, but I didn't this was not in my plan.
Okay.
The
you know
anarchy.
what?
Yeah.
Here,
This is what it's like being at a D&D table.
down there, is she like a body?
Little Ghost said she could have just turned into a bird, but yeah, she panicked and picked a goldfish instead.
Yes, and the goldfish, which has like
Decimated.
a hit point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she took like 350
Maybe
hit
other
points.
324 hit points.
124. Yeah.
Go over to Marisha.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
So the goldfish turned into orange marmalade.
Your body's still intact.
Oh,
It's
wow.
just
It was like a magic trick. It was like a fish turned into a corpse.
Bang bang.
Can
Gotcha.
I
It's a magic
use
trick.
my
Thinking it
coin
would've
that
broken the surface
Terry gave
attention.
me, my coin of revivify on her?
how long does you give it before the battle, right? Yes, you can.
This should have been animated, but like not in the show, but just
Yeah.
like a.
Touch my
Oh,
coin.
that's a whole thing. People do animatics on YouTube of
This Chili's 3
Oh,
for me
come on.
is the best $10.99 you can eat.
this stream is not brought to you by Chili's, by the way, or Peacock.
Or Peacock.
Was that the end of the video? Hey, it helps if I skip. Okay, that was the end of the video. All right. I wasn't paying attention to the runtime. So that was the famous Keyfish moment where,
So that's got to be it then, right there.
oh yeah,
Some kind of.
yeah, that looks like an animatic yeah. There's a ton of them.
You remember when Pixar used to do outtakes, but they would like fully animate it?
Oh
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
movies?
yeah.
That's what they need.
I remember specifically there were outtakes of Monsters Incorporated, Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
And even as a kid, I was like, this is kind of weird because even as a kid, I kind of understood that, like,
This isn't the movie.
yeah, that I guess maybe there was those outtakes like in the voiceover booth, but like then they had to animate the outtake.
Yeah.
So like I was kind of like, oh, these aren't actual like people like messing up. Like I guess they are like in the booth, but like the physical representation of those people aren't real. So then so like that kind of, I don't know. I had a weird feeling about like fake animated outtakes even when I was a kid. So that was strange. Richard says, not sure if you're caught in the anime series episode 3-5 during the swimming part, the goldfish made an appearance in Scanlan's house. Yes. That was that 3-5. I can't remember which episode that was. Whatever episode they were in the Chateau. Chateau Short Halt. Yes, when they were jumping into the hot tub, Keyleth turned into a goldfish. Little Ghost says there are multiple fan animatics for iconic moments. We have Keyfish the bathtub scene, Polymachina, and other scenes from campaign 2 that I'm not going to reveal. Yes, there's a lot of from campaign 2 that I really like. I'm not familiar with, or at least I'm not off the top of my head, I can't think of the scene that you're referring to with the Polymachina, but the bathtub scene is another incredible scene. And we do have that queued up for us to react to tonight. Also a reminder that we will react to the Bard's Lament scene. Now, there was some discourse online about whether or not we should watch that here, because the creators, specifically Sam Riegel, said that they couldn't put it into season 3 because they weren't sure if they were going to get a season 4. And if they were going to put it in season 3, it would have been the final episode. And that moment, there's a lot of things that go on in that moment, but he didn't think that that was the way that they wanted to end the season, if it was going to be the end of the series.
Right.
So they decided to hold off on that, but they said that they might include it in a different way in season 4, possibly. But I'm kind of the mind that if, like, it's not really where it was in the campaign, and they have said that they're going to, if they do include it in the series, that they would have to change it a little bit. So that doesn't guarantee that's going to be in the series. And if it is, it'll be different from what we know of it. So I'm actually not against watching a Bard's Lament, even though they might include it later.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And if it is such a unique kind of situation that it doesn't quite fit in the storytelling, maybe you do 3.5, make a quick little episode or something like that in between our wait, depending on when season 4 comes out.
That's actually interesting.
That's at least, I mean, if you know for sure, like, all right, they already greenlit 4, I mean, a little bit ago. You feel good about where you're at if it's really that kind of a diverging thing.
Yeah, I would hesitate to say that they would do something like that just because of the constraints that they would have to, like, animate that. But the counter argument to that would be that they had to animate that Scanlan recap for season 2. Sure. That was like the song. So, like, they have shown that they're, like, open to do, like, a little bit extra of, like, animation for a recap. So I mean, they could do it as a, like, prologue to season 4. Like, episode 1 is like that moment happens, and then the season picks up.
Yeah.
Because season 3 ended with them, like, going off on their own, like, their own way, their own directions and stuff like that. So they could just tag that on to the beginning of season 4 as a continuation of that, and then go from there. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and put those in the chat, or any other moments that you want to see us react to from campaigns, or any of the behind the scenes moments. We're here to hang out with you guys. So those of you who are watching who aren't commenting, I mean, that's fine. We appreciate you hanging out. But, like, I want to talk to you because I want to share my love of Critical Role with more people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Maggie says the original Lady Vex'ahlia scene. That's a good one, too. Let me see if I can find that one. Well, Maggie, we are going to react to that. Let's see. So the one issue that I have with some of the campaign moments that are on YouTube is that a lot of people like to interweave the campaign moment with the show moment, which I am a fan of watching, but it just creates an issue with whether or not this live stream gets a copyright strike with depending on how much of the actual scene from the show is in their video. Deck of Many Things and Grog is funny. Yeah, that's more of like a future thing, so I want to kind of keep away from that just in case they do include that in the series for any reason. I mean, like that whole moment led to like a continuation of a story. So, I mean, like there is like the possibility that they could add that into the show. Let's see. Yeah, that one's interwoven. Okay. This one is short, but it looks like it has the moment, so I think we'll probably watch this one. Let's go ahead and get this pulled up. So this one's only like 47 seconds, but it doesn't have any of the actual like animated show in it. So I think we should be safe to watch this one. Hopefully the quality is terrible. Let's give it a shot. I think it looks okay on the stream. Okay.
This grants an audience for all of us, then. Yes. You're going to have to amend that one name, though, just to be fair. It's Lady Vex'ahlia. Lady Vex'ahlia, Baroness of the Third House of Whitestone and Grand Mistress of the Grey Hunt.
So this was like one of their first like live shows too. I'm pretty sure they were like in like a movie theater or something. That's what it looks like. It looks like a movie theater.
So good, sir. Despite your relationship with her, do watch your manners.
Spit take.
And
did I read that they're going out on tour pretty soon? Have they already?
yeah, so they are doing so 2025 is their 10-year anniversary of when they started Critical Role. And honestly, they hadn't done many live shows. They've done a couple, but not many since 2020, since COVID happened, which I was kind of like thinking about going and seeing one of their live shows in 2018 and 2019, but I decided not to. And then COVID happened, and I was just like,
Missed it.
I missed my chance because I wasn't sure if they were going to start doing live shows again. But they are, they're doing a live show in Chicago, in New York, in Indianapolis, Australia, doing 2 shows in Australia. And I am a Beacon member, and so I got a pre-sale code. And so I got tickets to the Chicago show, floor seats. I was like, if I'm doing this, I'm doing it big because I don't know if I'm ever going to get the chance again.
Yeah.
You don't know like how long the original cast is going to like stay together, because like Travis and Laura, like they've got a kid. So like there are, I hope that this doesn't happen, but there is like the potential that some of them will like leave the group and like spend more time at home or whatever. Cause like they're all pretty busy with the company, so that was my concern. Like, I don't know how long that they're going to stay together. So
And if you're gonna do it right.
yeah. So like they're all going to be there. Like I'm there. Maggie says the Go Away Fairies were napping scene. It's not one that I'm familiar with. Caller Identity. Love the name. And this is Grog finding unconscious scaling after the dragon fight. Are you guys including links and YouTube just isn't showing me that? Teresa says, I mentioned this on the Legend of Vox Machina episode, but the attack on Whitestone was based on a near attack in the game. The campaign episode 64 and the time code is 4220 and it's about 10 minutes long. Thank you, Teresa. We might check that out. But to Teresa's point about a like near attack, I don't. So like, here's the thing: like, I haven't watched campaign 1. I don't know. I've watched it 2 times all the way through. That's a lot. First off, but also
How many episodes?
Campaign 1 is 115 episodes, I think, not including the one shots that they've done after. Campaign 2 is like 144, I think. And then campaign 3, somebody remind me what campaign 3 is on. I know it's over 100 at this point. I think it's 114, 115 at this point, and still going. But yeah, so the near miss that Teresa was talking about. So I don't remember a near miss happening. Oh, actually, there was like a flyover at some point, I think. Is that what you're referring to, Teresa? Was the flyover from one of the dragons where they didn't find White Stone? Or is that what you're talking about the near miss? But the one thing that reminded me of was like, I'm trying to remember which Harry Potter movie it is. It's either 7 or 8 because they broke up the last book into 2 movies. But like an attack on the burrow happens that never happened in the book. And it was a way of like the filmmakers saying like, we wanted to remind people that like they're not safe. But like in the books, like they were safe until the ministry fell. So I understand it from like a filmmaking point of view as like you're trying to keep the feeling of like danger there. But I was just like, when I was in the movie theaters watching them, like, that didn't happen. So not that that moment in the show hit the same way for me, but it was relative. Like it like that's the thing that came to mind. No, they had a tea set and Garmelie was there. Oh, okay, so Maggie, that was one of the moments when they were in the Feywild then. Garmelie. Hey, shout out to Billy Boyd for playing Garmelie.
Yeah.
They've got, I was actually surprised. I expected season 3 to have a Hobbit in it because season 1 had a Hobbit. Season 2 had a Hobbit. Season 3, no Hobbit. What's up with that?
Maybe they're just saving it for season 4.
I mean, to be fair, oh my gosh, because we're live, I'm blanking on the names. But Elijah Wood and Samwise Gamgee, Sean Astin. Those are probably harder gets than Billy Boyd and gosh, I know my Hobbit names, but I'm blanking on them right now. Anyways, they're probably harder gets than Billy Boyd and Pippin, Merry and Pippin. What part was the third Hobbit? Where was our Hobbit? That's what I'm saying, Maggie. What part would the third Hobbit play? That's a good question. Because I'm trying to think of like, actually, you know what would be hilarious? It won't happen because we got the Larkin reference in season 3. But if we could have a Hobbit play Larkin, I mean, that'd be pretty great. Actually, yeah. Do you guys know? Is there a video online of the Larkin moment? Because that's another, or at least a supercut of Larkin, because that is, a reference that we got, but Jason doesn't know the context for that. Passing Through Alaska says, might be hard to find, but there was a lot more that happened during their trip to the Feywild, such as previously mentioned Go Away Fairies scene. Which, yeah, that is true. I feel like that would have to be like a super cut or something that would need to happen. I'm actually going to move chat so I can actually see it next to... Sorry for the sound. Oh, don't do that. Put chat right in front. That way I don't have to look away, off and away. It's just... Jacob says, also good scene to watch is the start of the dragon attack in Amon if you don't have that set up. that is one that I do have set up ready to go for us. That'll be the next one that we watch. Jacob, good suggestion. Passing through Alaska says, but I always loved the scene in the Feywild where Trinket protects Vex and Vax. Vex and Vex. Oh, protects Vex and Vex speaks with animals cast. She gets to hear what he's saying. Yes, that is a good moment. I read that as Vex and Vax just because
So I mean,
it's like they go hand in hand.
How you read it.
Jacob says also you could watch the Halloween episode where they dressed up as Lord of the Rings characters. See, like that's a campaign 3 thing, which I'm not against showing those because it's not really anything related to the actual plot of the show. So like that's a possibility. Do links not show? Call identity? No, I don't think links are showing in the chat. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Let me see if I can find it. Or if there's a way for me to like take a look. It's in a book, the reading room. Sorry, I won't sing on this stream because my voice is terrible.
I might leave.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. I don't think that I can actually see community moderation, maybe? No. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to see you guys' comments with links. But a way that you could get around that is if you go to our Twitter page, you can tweet at me with a link, and I'll find it that way. How about that? Which is, I'll put our handle in the chat. And yes, I know that it's missing an E, but that's Twitter's fault, not mine.
It's online.
Mm-hmm. Search who's Larkin. Look for who's Larkin. Okay. I will do that. Okay. Yeah, we will. Okay. Jacob, I know you said the Chroma Conclave attack. We'll watch Who's Larkin first because it's shorter, and then we'll go to the Chroma Conclave attack because it's a little bit of a longer one. So let's get this set up. Pause. Thank you. Full screen. And going to react. It's another one with the resolution's low, but it'll work. Is this the one you're talking about? I'm assuming this is the one you're talking about. Also, let me pull up my Twitter in case any of you guys send me links. But if you don't, that's cool too. But just giving you the option. Okay. That's it. Let's go ahead and watch this one. 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Richard says, if the link doesn't work, search for Best of Campaign 1 Critical Role and go up to 1853. This goes up to Percy's Resurrection. Okay. Posted 4 years ago. All right. Playing Who's Larkin?
The ravine, or stepping actually up from the ravine, would be from this side, this way. You see what looks to be a small, kind of stout-looking dwarf character walking up. Kind of bulbous red nose. You can see kind of a thick winter coat over, cloth tied over the top of the head, kind of a crossbow to one side, and just kind of walks up and goes, "Hey, Larkin, the one you hired, the mercenary to help you with this exchange."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
We hired somebody?
Larkin.
Yes.
When was this?
Back in Whitestone, we hired somebody to come help us fight.
We did? Why on earth would we do that? We're super strong.
I kind of kick Scanlan a little bit.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
I'm gonna talk to him in Dwarvish, and I'm gonna ask him where he's from.
Okay. Yes, where from? I don't.
I'll be honest. I
talk
forgot that this
those,
character was a dwarf.
You know, speaking their language in front of people
So,
don't understand. It's
The Hobbit theme fits.
impolite.
She's good.
It is quite impolite.
Watch as Larkin's expression gets very dire for a second, and it's like, "What are you doing?"
Larkin, are you ready to help us kill a dragon?
That's what you hired me for, isn't it?
Oh, don't you think dragons are just the biggest dick fucks ever?
To be honest, yes.
Oh, Larkin. Yes, I totally remember you, Larkin.
I kick Scanlan again just for sheer joy this time.
Like 10 minutes later.
Also, herself, with no fucking idea where Raishan is or what she's going to do, if anything.
You know the one place she isn't is in here.
Holy shit,
It's contagious. Once somebody.
He's like,
no,
are you kidding?
Come on. Or on the internet.
Stop it. Stop it.
No.
Me, I'm the last one.
me, I'm the last one.
It took me like 5 minutes.
Oh my god, we're going to die. We're going to die.
Ashley figured it out before us.
No, you told me. I can't take this.
As you guys rest to prepare for your next day's excursion, we're going to go ahead and take a restroom right here. We'll see you guys back here in a few minutes.
That's great. I love that so much. Thank you for recommending that because, yeah, that was just amazing. Laura looks over at him and she's like, Raishan is Larkin.
Yeah.
He's just like, he looks at her like dumbfounded for a second. He's just like, oh, I'm the last one. I didn't realize. Little Ghost, I don't have Twitter. You can also search Polymachina. It's 4 minutes long, though. I'm probably going to bed now. It's 1 a.m. I have to get up at 6 a.m. Have fun with the rest of the stream. Little Ghost, thank you for hanging out with us so late into the night. Really appreciate that. You know what? Before you go, let's watch that. Jacob, I apologize. One more delay, and then we will.
You know, what's the difference? 4 hours or 5 hours of sleep? I mean,
Yeah.
What's the difference after that?
I'll be honest. I wasn't so sure that I was going to get much sleep last night because, in complete transparency, like I said, it's been 10 years since we live streamed, and I wanted to make sure that this went off without a hitch. So hopefully everything's going well. But yeah, I was up past my bedtime last night, and anybody who knows me knows that I love my bedtime. But I got it figured out so that we could go live for you guys. Polymachina from 2 years ago, essentially 4 minutes long. I guess this is probably it. Oh, another ad. So let's go through that first. Caller identity. Check out Keyleth versus Raishan. That is another one that we will search. Okay. Is this Little Ghost? Was it an animatic that you were referring to? Because this one's an animatic. If animatic is what you're referring to, that we can watch this. If it's not, I can search for another one. Gotta get used to that time difference. It's called The Fall of Keyleth. I'm fine either way. Okay, let's go ahead and watch the animatic because, you know, animatics are also cool. We can support people. Garrel Wilson, I hope I pronounced that correct, is the one that posted this animatic. Let's go ahead and get to our react screen. Caller identity, if I don't remember, remind me after we watch the Chroma Conclave attack. Okay. I want to watch what you guys are asking us to watch. I just want to make sure that we get to everybody's request. I've already put off Jacob's request for a couple now, so I want to make sure I get to that one. Okay. Polymachina, Critical Role animatic. Oh, helps if I unmute.
So wait, are we all in our own individual
We're
rooms?
all in a room together.
Yeah.
We have earrings.
Room together.
So you all go into a room together.
Oh yeah, this is definitely from the live show. I can tell from the
You have
from the
like
audio.
4 rooms at your disposal, and you all say, "We're gonna go sleep," and all go into one room with a broken bed.
Yeah,
We're
no,
a
we
close
Okay.
knit family.
You can make your own
We can go
assumptions.
into our own rooms, and I can fix it if we don't want to tip people off. Prayer.
You're going to
It's for
sleep.
prayer. We have to pray.
We all sleep together. It's a polyamorous thing. You wouldn't.
When you
I mean,
say you're, when you
Scannon's
say
all
you're
about it.
tired and ready to rest, the guard goes, "Mm-hmm." And then when you say polyamorous, the guard goes, "Oh."
Oh yeah, that's right. They were trying to shake some guards, if I remember correctly.
We are freaky.
I grab Grog by the circlet thing and say, come on, I'm tense, let's go.
I'm tense. Let's go.
The 2 guards look at each other and take 2 steps away from the room. We'll keep a close watch. As you all
Not
And
too close.
Keyleth says, we're totally polyamorous.
No.
And I turn Percy and Vax into squirrels with polymorph. See?
Whenever
The 2
Keyleth said
guards look at
trick.
each other
Polyamorous.
very, very disturbed and say, "You've already shared too much. We don't judge. Just please go sleep." What is my life right now? All right.
We may need you to clean up for us later.
Please go sleep. Thank you. All right. You guys are now closed off inside your room
Squirrels.
as squirrels. What are you going to do?
All right.
Okay, I dropped polymorph.
All right.
That's what polyamorous means, right, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Gormili,
Yes.
show thyself.
He appears and goes like,
Was that true?
No.
He needs more inspiration for his journal.
he has his sketchbook at the ready, and it's like, "'Cause I mean,
No.
You don't know.
You don't know. Moment later. Oh.
Follow me,
Follow
chaps.
the finger.
Are the guards following?
the 2 guards are following as you guys make your way.
That was really fun. Exactly. My
Good
hair's
sesh,
messed
guys.
up.
Good sesh.
Good sesh.
That was really.
Thanks, Grog. I feel loose as a goose. Let's go see this bog.
And I transform into a goose and come out as a goose.
Never mind.
Loose goose.
The guards follow at a very healthy distance now, both kind of whispering to each other as they watch you walk.
I think we made a really good impression on this city coming up.
Yeah, this is when they were in Singorn, when they went to see their dad, and that's right. I forgot about that moment. Okay. The next video that we watch will be the Chroma Conclave attack. But let's go ahead and just chat a little bit more. Little Go says, thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us until 1 a.m. your time. That's crazy.
Yes, go.
Have a good night. Get
Go
some
to
sleep. And yeah, we'll catch you on another video or maybe another live stream. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Also, I do want to comment just because talking about live streams, I actually would like to do this more. Not only because like I invested some, behind the scenes, I invested some money in making sure this went off without a hitch. So I want to make that investment worth it and do more live streams. So hopefully this will become a more like regular thing where I can hang out with you guys. specifically when we're talking about like logistics of like when Jason and I are filming, it's usually on Thursdays because that's usually when our schedules align to where we can live stream. Although I would really like to live stream on Thursdays just because Critical Role, their show premieres at like 10 o'clock my time, Eastern time. And so I think it'd be cool to hang out for a little bit before those shows, but we'll see what happens with that. I don't know.
I mean, one thing that kind of plagued us early on in this channel was myself, just because I work nights, and so my schedule didn't really. I mean, it's just a horrible schedule, and we never were able to find like good enough time.
Yeah.
For us to meet up, and now that we, have full-time jobs, our schedule's a little bit is not as erratic, especially for me. It just lines up, and I'd absolutely be willing to come over and do some more live streams and stuff like that. Thursdays, remains the easiest in our schedules, but
yeah. Maggie says that she's sorry, but her dog is barking and probably needs to go out. I have to go, but I'll try to come back. Otherwise, have a good night. Thank you, Maggie, for stopping by. If you're able to come back, great. We'll still be here to hang out for a little bit, but go take care of your dog. I understand. I got a puppy of my own. He likes to. Well, he's not really a puppy anymore. He's more than 2 years old, but he's still a puppy in my eyes.
All dogs are puppies.
Oh yeah, such good boys and girls. I was gonna say something, but I guess my thought is like I'm kind of still trying to figure out like what exactly I'm doing specifically like with this channel. Like obviously we've been reacting to Legend of Vox Machina, which has been a lot of fun. Editing reactions to episodes is like a lot of work. For those who don't know, like you have to cut out so much of the episode so that it doesn't get flagged for copyright infringement and things like that. But I do enjoy it. And so if there's any shows that you guys who are watching, like want to see us react to, like if we haven't seen the show that you want us to watch, like I'm open to taking suggestions. But also like, I'm really cool with just like hanging out with other critters and just like talking about Critical Role and like that kind of stuff. But I'm also like open to do like other things as well. So, the channel name is Movieverse because back in the day, like all we would talk about was movies. And so like, obviously like entertainment has changed in 10 years, like there's a lot more like high quality, like television now.
TV is the name of the game.
Yeah. Sure. So like the name Movieverse doesn't necessarily like line up with like everything that like I'm passionate about, obviously I got my Critical Role and D&D stuff on the back shelves here, but then on my shelves over to my left, I've got my movies, I've got comics, I've got Funko Pops, like I've got a little bit of everything. So like my interests are varied. And then I also like, I GM for Dungeons and Dragons. Like, my D&D table is back behind my monitor. So like I'm all over the place. I got a paint station for my minis that I never have time to paint because I just don't have time for much of anything.
Not
but
enough time in the day.
Yeah, it's like I have so many like hobbies that I want to be involved in, and then like finding the time for all of them is just incredibly difficult. Okay, so without further ado, I think we should get into the Conclave attack, which was originally requested by Jacob. So Jacob, if you're still in here, we are going to watch the Conclave attack now. Passing Through Alaska says, speaking of movies, what do you think of the odds of a Calamity movie? Honestly, I think it's very likely now. If you would have asked me before season 3 came out, I would have said it's a toss-up. But the fact that they worked Xerxes into season 3 when they went to Hell to get to play the Dawnmonitor. The fact that they worked him into the story tells me that they are working on, or I mean, not that they're necessarily working on it right now, but that they have plans to do something with Calamity. Because I mean, they obviously use that stained glass motif in the show, which is like straight from the Calamity. It wasn't even a one shot, but it was like a mini series that Critical Role did. So that tells me that it's fairly likely that they're going to do something with Calamity. And I think, to your point, I think a movie would make more sense for Calamity than a series. I mean, I guess they could do like a mini series, but the fact that Calamity is only 4 episodes, I feel like they wouldn't make that into a mini series show. I think they would just make that into a movie. So,
I mean, quite frankly, it just kind of depends on, does Amazon have confidence in doing it?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
So we all know that they know they have something here with this show. Clearly, because you don't, I mean, in my mind, you don't immediately, green light a season 4 with it at like before the season 3 ends.
Yeah.
So you have something. Do all of the shakers have the confidence in moving forward with that?
Yeah. Well, I kind of feel like we already got that answer prior to season 4 even being greenlit, because when they announced the Mighty Nine series, which is based off their second campaign, I remember in the press release for that announcement, it essentially said that Amazon gets the rights to the Legend of Vox Machina, the Mighty Nine series, and then basically first look rights to any show or movie that Critical Role does. And so when they said any show or movie, like, that tells me like they have enough confidence. Stuff floating around over here. They have enough confidence in the IP to at least take a look at that and say, okay, we see the potential here for a movie, so let's look into it. So I think that's probably likely. Jacob says, pretty sure they confirmed there was a movie deal already with Amazon, but I could be wrong. Yes, you're right, Jacob. It was in that press release with the, I think it came out around the same time or the same time that the Mighty Nine series was announced. So, all right, let's get into the Chroma Conclave attack, because that was a great moment, and I really appreciate that suggestion. All righty. This is, I want to shout out to people that put these together. I mean, obviously this is Critical Role's content, but one Castellan robot put together this little snippet for us.
You, the peoples of Iman, will be the ones to guide us to a new age of prosperity. At this point now,
Sovereign Uriel giving his speech.
Again, and some cheers happen. There's a little bit of confusion in the crowd, but for the most part, everyone seems to be into it.
I love the faces.
One of the guards kind of hurries up to the side of the stage, and just kind of whispers something into Asum's ear.
Whose faces? The players?
Yeah, just everybody's face is just waiting.
Oh yeah, they're kind of like, all right, why are we here? What is important about this moment?
Yes.
Oh, talking to Vex.
Yay!
They always get excited when the Dungeon Master comes over and whispers in their ear, because I feel like they're getting like,
Don't forget to subscribe to Geek
yeah, a
and
little inside
Sunrail,
information.
so you can see archives of this show and any others. I don't even know.
That sounds like the Pleasantville TV guy that traps someone in Pleasantville. Did you watch that movie?
When 1 year's in, 1 year's out, it's tough. Yeah, I was like trying to play with it.
Whisper still going on? Oh, wow.
Remember, Liam
Oh, and she's immediately stressed.
Travis in real life.
Wait. As soon as I notice that, I touch Grog and Vex's shoulders and I point up really fast.
You look up and you guys all kind of gather this as well. You can see piercing out of some of the cloud cover above what looks to be 2 fast-moving streaks of color, black and red. That's kind of...
What?
And then you can't see them anymore.
Could I tell from my favorite enemy-ness that it was dragons?
You can make a hefty perception check if you like to see exactly how much detail you
A
can make
hefty
out.
perception check.
Can I look up too? Just
Because of her
20.
very high perception.
No, that was wrong. 23.
23. It's hard to make out details from this distance. And they're moving quick.
black and red.
Can't
Black
tell
and
if
red.
that's our video or their video that is frozen.
Uriel now goes, I am beyond confident that all doubts in the capabilities of those
Okay,
I lead
it'll
the city
pass here in a second.
and more. And at this
There
point,
it
you
is.
start hearing bells going off. Ding, 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 around the city. Tops of walls in the distance. You
Warning?
recognize these. These are warning bells.
Oh shit.
At which point, the crowd starts kind of murmuring and getting nervous. And Uriel kind of puts his hand up. Please, please.
Can I use my primeval awareness
Everybody remain
to
calm.
see if it's actually dragons close by?
Okay, you begin to concentrate on that for the moment. Assume now steps up and says, everyone, if I might ask you to all quickly make your way to your respective homes. There is a small emergency we must attend to.
Small
At this
emergency,
point,
yep.
you guys hear this sound and you turn around just in time to see what looks to be a larger than you've seen before, white dragon just slam into the side of Allura's tower in the distance. Claws plunk into the side, digging into the stonework, wings unfurled. It looks into the upper
She said, "Did we
window
do
of
this?"
where her actual parlor is and kind of peeks in for a second before just unleashing a blast of icy cold magical breath into the inside of the tower. You can see now screams start tearing around you as the guards start getting their weapons ready. At which point the dragon pulls its head back and looks about at everyone
All just
screaming,
like, oh
and
shit.
pushes off the tower. As it does, you see the stonework crack and the top of Allura's tower shatter,
Oh
my god.
collapse, smashing into the city streets around you. At which point the dragon and takes off again above you. At this point in time, utter chaos has been unleashed, and you can see now the guards are rushing Uriel off the table. You guys are there kind of caught amongst this chaos.
Also, just
At
appreciation
this
for Matt Mercer.
very moment, as
Amazing.
the white dragon heads deeper into the city, you hear a loud thum impact that silences the chaotic air around you as the wall that the stage is buttressed up against now has perched above it an enormous vision of death. A grinning, ancient green dragon.
Hello,
Its
Raishan.
wings are kind of curled around its form as it looks down at the rest of you in the middle of this open space and goes,
Delicious cattle. Raishan enjoys the taste of fear.
at which point it
They used that in the
swoops
show
down
because
over
they
the
were saying
stage,
that's a great
crushing
line.
part of it. I would like you all to roll initiative.
We can't fight 4 dragons. Can we?
Wait, did you say 4? You didn't say 4.
4.
There
There's
was
a
a
red
red,
and a
black,
black, a white, and a
white,
green.
Were the red and black dragons?
They were red and black. Of course they were fucking dragons.
Doesn't want
Why
to believe
wouldn't
it.
be dragons?
Yeah. Well, what else would it be?
The love of God and all that is holy.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Allison.
Are we fighting something now?
Are we just fighting one?
Oh, hi, dragon.
Oh, hi, dragon. You're my favorite customer.
Grog and
Haven't seen the movie, but I understand the
there.
reference.
So Percy was here, Pike was here,
Don't worry, I'll kill it with music.
Holy balls.
and this is the chaotic pattern of individuals.
Remember, this was right after they beat the Briarwoods,
Yep.
and they came back to like.
Total elation.
Oh
just
yeah,
straight
they thought they were
Alright,
getting a
now-
celebration, and then it's just like, nope.
If I could go
Mic
ahead
drop.
and have the initiative scores from you guys. 25 to 20.
20 again.
Anybody else? All right.
So Greg
Okay.
got 20, but nobody else.
20 to 15.
15 again.
15 as well.
So yeah, obviously they're rolling for initiative
What is that first modifier?
on a 20-sided die.
10 to 5.
They have modifiers and stuff like that, but
Sorry. 14.
the higher, obviously, the better. If you get like
Scanlan.
1, like, you're going last in initiative. Like, it's just
you.
bad.
Percy, what'd you get?
9.
All right.
The castle looks really badass. It's just off of camera.
Is it? Let's see if I can scoot this all a bit forward for you guys.
That's perfect. That's
Look at this. Look at this old school map technique. Love it.
Now,
Production
Couple round,
level
you're
for
up.
Critical Role has
Where am
increased
I?
immensely.
Fighting this
right
right
there.
now?
You're right there with the red bases.
right.
What's happening?
I don't know.
What is happening?
Do?
4 dragons are attacking. That's what's happening.
I go into a rage. All right.
Yep.
In a frenzied rage.
All right.
I take out Craven Edge.
Rish is so
How do you
stressed.
feel about dragon?
I think it sounds delicious. Let's try a taste.
Great weapon, master. Run up to the dragon and hack away.
All right, make your strikes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fucking hell. Where's that son of a bitch? 19.
19 misses.
Yep.
19 misses?
That second, like he like looks up, he's like, "What? 19 misses?" Yes, it does. 19 does in fact miss. First off, Matt's ability to like set the scene is like incredible. And I think, I mean, obviously there's plenty of reasons why Critical Role is so successful, but obviously part of that is his ability to bring the audience into the moment, because it's very easy to like get lost in, you know, I kind of equate Critical Role to like reading a book.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I mean, I essentially like it's when you're listening to the podcast, it's essentially an audiobook, but it's, and I always use that description when talking about the campaign versus the show. Like the campaign is a book and the show is like the adaptation of that book. And that's why I always kind of like draw the comparisons of like Harry Potter, because there's so much that happens in the Harry Potter books that aren't in the movies because there's just not enough time. And it's the same thing that happens with this show. There's so much that happens in the campaign that they just don't have time to put it into the show. And so whenever I see people like talk about like they're kind of afraid to like get into the campaign, that's how I explain it. I'm like, it's like you're investing in the campaign like you would be investing in like a
book series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only difference was like, this is obviously like, I mean, obviously Matt prepares for things, but like the characters and everything like are like improv. Like
and I mean that's a
the story
testament
isn't set. It's just
that's a testament to him too, because you got to be able to the characters. You know, the players have to be able to take the curveballs, but Matt also has to.
Yeah.
'Cause he has to incorporate their roles. He has to incorporate their decisions, and you know, their like Keyleth turning into a goldfish.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
You got to be able to do stuff on the fly, and
Matt's just like, I mean, that's just like there's no preparing for that. Like that, you're just like, what are you doing? Like, there's no reason to jump off of this
to do a swan dive into rocks and then turn into a goldfish.
I do remember that Caller Identity requested Keyleth versus Raishan, so let's search for that so I can have that queued up for us. Oh, The Fall of Keyleth. Okay, that was the title that he wanted. So yeah, well, that's getting pulled up. Yeah, I mean that moment with Keyleth turning into a fish is like, that's, you can't like prepare for that. Like that's just like, I mean, and that kind of encapsulates D&D the best. I feel like is just like there are going to be moments where like the players just don't understand. When we're talking about like how good Matt is at like bringing the players and the viewers like into like what's happening, that's one of the moments where it's just like, okay, the player didn't necessarily like understand how far of a drop it was and like how much damage they would probably take from that drop. And like, yeah, she turned into a fish because she thought that like, you know, if she was small enough, she would miss the rocks and she would hit water. But that obviously wasn't the case in that moment. But I mean, that is some of like the best moments from the campaign is where like when the cast is interacting with each other. I always think that's really fun is when the cast is interacting with each other and you know, they're making jokes and like the banter and everything, which we'll get to in a moment with the bath scene. But yeah, so what I was saying just a minute ago was the difference between like a book and the campaign is just like, one, it's improv, but also like they're just people hanging around at a table, like having fun together. And so you get to like witness that like camaraderie and everything. And there's something like really like therapeutic about it. You know, like I said, I found the show in 2018. My mom passed in 2020 and Critical Role was like a huge like escape for me and like help me like get through some like really tough stuff. And I mean, ever since I've just been a huge fan. But okay, let's go ahead and get this Fall of Keyleth, because I'm not exactly sure like what happens in this moment. Again, I'm a little bit foggy on some of this stuff that happened in this arc of the campaign. Yes, that's what it's called. Okay. Let's go ahead and watch this. Let's see. Before we start it, would it help you guys watching if I turned on closed captions for these videos? I know that they're like auto-generated, so they might not be 100% accurate. But if you guys are having issues like hearing the audio from the videos that we're watching, I can turn on closed captions if you guys think that would help. Also, if our audio is too loud or too soft, let us know. I know that we're quite a ways into. We've already been on for like an hour, Jason.
Time flies, man.
Time flies when you're having fun. But yeah, I can hear me and him, but I can't hear what it all sounds like to you guys. Like when I did some tests last night, and when I was like on YouTube doing the test, like it sounded different on YouTube than it does for us. So like I'm relying on you guys for the audio. It's fine. All right, cool. Thanks. All right, let's go ahead and watch the Fall of Keyleth. Again, unmute, Brian.
My 1 8th level spell.
Okay.
And I'm going to attempt to feeble mind her.
The highest spell level you can get in D&D is 9th. So 8th level is like super huge.
Exactly.
Alrighty, and it is a intelligence saving throw.
Yes, which she's really good at. But we could get lucky.
Yep.
4 plus 4.
Ooh, she rolled really low.
Roll a 4. She
Oh, yeah, I remember this. Okay.
And is not one of her saving throws.
Shut up.
Her intelligence charisma become 1. Cannot cast spells. Cannot activate magical items.
She's just dumb.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Really happened? Did that work?
Yeah.
Did that work? It's permanent, right?
No, it's
30 days.
She can keep saving from it.
Yeah, at the end of every 30 days, she can repeat the saving.
30 days. So like a lot of times when you cast a spell, like at the end of like your turn or something, you can roll to like save, to like end the effect. But this specifically is like they can't do it for 30 days because it's an 8th level spell. It's super powerful. And she basically took Raishan, super powerful, has a lot of magic and everything, and just like made her stupid and no magic before the fight, like right when they're going to the fight. So.
Melora, come on, girl.
Come on, girl.
Come on, Melora.
You watch as
Melora's a
Raishan
god.
kind of chuckles.
I think, right?
One of the tendrils slashes out and wraps her on the throat. And as they wrap and begin to strengthen around the neck,
Oh, that's
pouring
cool.
into the cracks of the flesh where the
They worked that
disease
into
currently holds her throat.
the fight with
her brow
like
begins
the
to sink, the
neck.
jaw hangs open, and slobber begins
That's
to
cool.
drip from her lower jaw. As Raishan, just as opposed to speaking, now gets to a guttural.
All right, Matt. That's a face.
Still got a dragon. Still got a dragon.
Yeah, but she's stupid.
I love this dragon.
She can still attack. She's with
Yeah.
Grog. Grog, get her down. That's all I can scream before my mind is blown.
Okay, so at the end of your turn,
And then
I forgot about that moment, but that's such a
panicking.
clutch moment by
you
Keyleth.
still have a bonus action, right?
I do.
And technically, 10 more feet of movement.
I'm going to go back towards Allura.
Welcome to jail, Smurf.
Okay. I think that's probably the end of the video because they've been playing ads. What in the world? Hero Wars? Let's get away from that. That looks like spam if I've ever seen it. Yeah, so that was amazing. Keyleth vs. Raishan was a big deal in the campaign. I'm glad that they were able to incorporate it into the show. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like I said, I'm really fuzzy on some of these moments, but like as soon as we started watching it and she said that she cast that spell, I'm like, oh yeah, of course. But like as I just said to Jason, like he was talking about like the tendrils of like the magic like going around her neck, and they completely like put that into the show where like Keyleth attacks Raishan in her human form and like cracks her neck essentially, gave her a chiropractor adjustment.
Yeah.
And then she was all good. She was all better.
Yeah. That's the remedy.
Yeah. Puffy, I'm going to ignore that comment, not because I don't see it, but just because don't look at the comment, because it is kind of spoilerish. Although it didn't happen like that in the show, it could also be considered a spoiler for later in the show. It can be hard to visualize certain spells and animation, but they did it well. So, caller, in your opinion, did they, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, they didn't really do Feeble Mind in the show, right? I mean, I guess technically, like maybe when she went into Thordak's body, she kind of got more, she wasn't, I wouldn't say that she got like, quote unquote, dumb or like stupid, like when she got into Thordak's body, but she did seem like she was very much like more wild, maybe in a sense. Yeah. So like maybe in that way, they kind of, took what happened in the campaign and tried to make it at least somewhat like relative.
Yeah, like does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, and
adapt.
His body is
that's the word I'm trying to think of. I can't think of.
And his body was like completely wrapped.
Yeah.
His body was.
Well, that's because like she used her poison breath on him when he was still alive, and like so just over time it started to. It wasn't really acid, but it was still like a poison that was eating away at his skin. Yeah. So we've got those out of the way. Did anybody else have any other scenes that they really wanted us to react to? I mean, we got the bath scene that we can still react to, which is a good one. Excuse me. More physical attacks rather than spellcasting. Yeah, that's true. I'm also curious of like what people think about the breath weapon that Raishan was using, because like when Pike was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to redirect it or whatever," Raishan was just like, "It ain't that kind of fire." So like, what kind of fire was it? What kind of breath weapon? So like in D&D, each dragon has a different breath weapon, as we've seen in the show. You got the ice dragon with the ice breath, fire, poison, lightning is even one, acid. So, but Raishan made it seem like the breath weapon that she was using as Thordak's like corpse essentially was different. So I'm not really sure. Like,
have they explained that?
No, I don't. No, I don't think that there was any type of like explanation as to like what that was. Caller says Feeble Mind changes a character's stats, so it's hard to show that in animation. I think that Raishan's body being made useless would be equal to Feeble Mind. That's true. Alaska says, my guess, necrotic damage rather than fire. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess my confusion with that, I guess it wasn't really confusion, because I was like, oh yeah, it's fine. Like they kind of explained it away, but my thought was just like, it was kind of like a bluish energy almost, right? But it wasn't, I don't know. Raishan said in the show that she wouldn't have helped them get vestiges that could harm her. Yes, she did say that. I'm not really sure. I mean, the vestiges, I guess, didn't technically harm her because it was Keyleth that did it. Actually, caller, Feeble Mind, like you said, like it's hard to adapt that into a show, but wouldn't you consider like Keyleth transferring like that sickness from her old body into her new body as kind of like their way of trying to adapt, like making her feeble, I guess, in a way? Like not maybe not necessarily like in the mind, but like making the body feeble. I don't know, just talking out loud. Okay, I think since we don't have any other suggestions, we'll go ahead and watch the bath scene, bath-based shenanigans. Oh, so the justifications for why Raishan / Thordak's fire wouldn't be absorbed by the armor. Gotcha. Okay. Let's go ahead. Nope. Clicked the wrong thing. There we go. All right. Bath-based shenanigans. I'll be honest with you guys. This is one of my favorite campaign moments. So, like, I've watched this so many times. that if I don't have like an intense reaction to it, it's probably because I've watched it like 50 times. That's a little over exaggeration, but I do love this moment. So, I'm sorry, we're not spoiling season 3. My bad. I'm running around. No. So season 3 is fine. All I'll say is that the person that you referenced there, that occurrence did not occur in season 3, so it could possibly occur in season 4. That's all I'm saying. But so yeah, season 3 is fine. That's all good. Like, but yeah. Okay, bath-based shenanigans.
Don't forget to unmute.
Thank you for the reminder, because I'm
big royal baths because this is Whitestone. So we were all taking baths, right?
Yeah, you're taking.
Right. And they're like big royal baths because this is Whitestone.
Yeah, I mean, there's maybe 4 at any given point in time, so you guys still have to kind of take turns.
Excellent.
Is this where we had the cannon?
I take mine very quickly and walk in the buck, and I find Percival's bath, and silently walk in while he's bathing, and I sit in the bath on the other side and just stare for a minute.
You know you're getting weirder.
You and I are very different.
I would agree. Although again, I'm in a bath at the moment. Cut to it. I think I was really working on something.
I didn't think you were
working on something.
You made me a little awkward.
So meek. Anyway, I still plan to honor your request, but I want you to know that you are like a brother to me. Now, I have a sister and we fight constantly, so I expect to do that with you.
I hope so.
The absolute
I'm glad I have you
tomfoolery
around
that's
still.
happening.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to have a serious
I like
conversation.
this family. I'd like to keep it.
Don't say another word. I
really
show him
don't-
my ass and I leave.
As soon as he leaves, I come up from the water and go, oh!
I was so hoping you were going to do that.
They're big bathtubs.
So gross.
I love you. That was wonderful.
My opinion of you is shit.
You don't know, you're gone.
No, you
She was just tickling the back of my knee the entire time.
I'm not talking about Vex. Vex can pork him all she wants. I don't give a fuck. That is a twisted D&D choice, man.
That is an amazing D&D choice.
That is
I agree.
That shit is crazier than the broom to me, Laura. Holy shit. Boosh.
It's
Hit me up top.
Hey, Laura.
I'm working on something here.
He's working on something.
Yeah, we gotta speed this up.
My cheeks hurt.
That changes everything. Wow.
Yes, yes, and.
Is that what those water breathing potions have gone to?
We are actually bathing in them, ironically. They're in the water flow.
It's like the abyss.
It's a bath bomb of water breathing.
Percy, what is that really cheesy music that's playing in here, huh?
All right. So, unless you have any more particular bath-based shenanigans to encounter,
I will leave that to people's magic.
yeah, you
I need a shower with lime.
Amazing.
heard lie, and that might work better.
That's while that was happening. I'll remind you of that.
It looks just like us.
I think
alter memory spells. You can help you with that.
Yes.
No, he only does it to people that don't deserve it.
Oh man, I can barely remember that.
Oh my gosh, I love that moment so much. Puppy Cloud says Brian O'Brien in 3 different ways. Ripley died in episode 11. You know what? You're completely right, and I forgot. I forgot that Ripley died, but she did. Yep, the twins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I was just like, wait a minute, that didn't happen because she got away after she killed Percy, so she's
Wait,
not
so
dead.
that was the spoiler? That you
Yeah.
were saying?
Somebody
gosh.
they posted that like Ripley died
Okay.
or whatever, and I'm like, wait a minute, that hasn't happened yet because she got away. So I guess the reason I should explain this is like the reason for my confusion was that the way that it happened in the campaign was Percy died, and then the rest of and died in a battle with Ripley, but the rest of the group was there, and they all like surrounded her and like killed her, and then revived Percy like immediately.
Oh, interesting.
So like,
Okay.
so my brain was just like, but they didn't do that in the show, right?
So it's different.
Because
Yeah.
Percy was there by himself essentially, and then Ripley
escaped.
left before the rest of the group got there. So I'm like, oh, that didn't happen yet. Like that might be like taken care of like in season 4 or something like that. But Puffy, you're correct. She did die in episode 11. So yeah, I'm sorry for saying what you said was a spoiler when it's not. That's just part of being live, and
We'll do it live.
F it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
That's
the most infamous.
That's another great clip.
That's probably the most infamous like live.
Yeah. So obviously it's not on the screen anymore, but this guy here that's sitting next to Liam O'Brien, he was a guest. Well, that's Patrick Rothfuss, who is a good, a pretty well-known fantasy writer. Name of the Wind, and some other books that are escaping me right now. But he was a guest star on some of the episodes for Campaign 1 for a character named Kerr, Kerr, I think was how it was spelled. But the Keyleth pass through fire moment actually came from him.
Oh, hell yeah.
Would anybody who's watching, would any of you like us to watch the pass through fire campaign moment? We haven't seen that yet, and I think that'd be good for Jason to see for the context. Okay, so Teresa and Pass Through Alaska said that would be a good moment to watch. Are you talking about the Ripley death scene? Is that what you're talking about? Do. Or we're not watching Nickelodeon, Jason.
No, I mean it's Nick at Night.
Yeah. Okay, so we have, again, I'm going to have some, I might have some difficulties here with finding a scene with her that doesn't have, will this work or is it intercut? It's intercut. Gosh darn it. Yeah, finding a scene that has her death without having the show in it would be great. Oh, you said end of episode 68. Yeah, so I might be able to find it through the actual episode. Teresa trying to find a time code. Thank you very much. If I remember correctly, on a lot of these, there was somebody who was going through and doing timestamps at like the beginning of the episodes for a while, but I don't think this is one of them. This might have been before somebody started doing that. For those coming from The Legend of Vox Machina, the timestamp you're after is 4:06:10. Thank you, Izzy M801 from 4 weeks ago on the video. People are thinking ahead. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Go back to our next screen. 4:18. You mean 4 hours and 18 minutes is pretty close, Teresa? Or right now I have it at 4:06:11. Thanks to this comment from Izzy here. Let's go ahead. We'll start from 4:06, I think.
Don't forget.
Yeah, I got it. Actually, 4:18. I'm not trying to watch 12 minutes of. Yeah, I agree, Teresa. I'm trying not to watch too much of it, to be honest. So I think we'll start at the 4:18 mark.
This kind of small pile of shadow on the ground that is now shifting for some sort of focus. It's just kind of around the ground like a slippery snake.
I'm a slippery snake.
Is
I'm a
essentially,
snake.
At 0 hit points.
I wonder what he's doing now.
That ends Keyleth's
I
turn.
don't know.
Scanlan, you're up.
But hey, I used him as a little meme in one of our videos. So
Take 5 points of piercing damage
I'm
to
a
go over and get
snakish snack.
Even gingerly?
Gingerly, you can't quite get to your sword.
And hold my attack in case maybe I should bounce back.
You can hold a spell too if you want to.
I'm holding a spell.
What spell are you holding?
I think she's resistant to it, but I will hold Otiluke's Resilient Sphere.
Okay.
You know what that means?
No.
Yeah.
All right. So that ends your turn. Back up at the top.
Oh, that
Basically,
one.
it would trap
Grog.
her in like a ball essentially, where she can't get out because she was bamfing around all over the place.
I'll go get my axe because
Like
I'm
she
still
doesn't
raging.
fit.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. You pick up the axe right there, which is where it was kind of on the ground after she vanished.
And I hold my action in case she comes back.
Okay. End of your turn, she appears.
She does.
Yes.
I will encapsulate her, or attempt to.
Otiluke's Brazilian Sphere.
Oh, so this was after Percy had already gone down, right, guys?
Otiluke's.
That's why Keyleth is,
Alright,
or Marisha's crying,
dexterity
and Vex
saving
is
throw.
also looks
Gets
like
a
crying.
DC of
21 with disadvantage.
because
I cutting words to her.
It's true. That would be.
It's another thing I love about
16.
D&D is like the tactics that you can
Sphere
use to like make sure that they
encapsulates her.
fail a
She is now
save that you're trying to
currently
get them to
down in the sphere,
fail.
and she looks about,
It's like
suddenly going,
Scanlan is one of the best characters.
what the heck is going on?
Don't at me.
You can curse, it's okay. You killed one of us. Okay. Everyone gather around. Her.
Oh, not leaving Percy.
I'm gonna drop this thing and we're all gonna fucking kill her together.
No.
Yes, we are. She stands there. She can't. She goes and fires at the wall. She just kind of has no effect. Looks over the shoulder.
I
have 3 attacks.
I'm slowly walking up to her with the sword in
Right.
hand.
Well,
walking over as well.
Okay.
am just
So, well, first at the end of her turn, the last round of the blink spell does not go off.
She almost disappeared again.
The roll didn't happen?
Yeah, and this is like the blink. She didn't blink out, so she's now locked in the sphere, and she's starting to look about extremely nervously. The shadow of Orthax comes and kind of finds her and is beneath the orb and can't quite get through.
No magic can happen in the orb.
You guys all work towards and bring yourself towards the edge. We'll say.
No, I'm staying.
Staying
next
there?
to Percy.
We need
Okay.
you.
I'll shoot her from a distance.
Okay. Get ready.
All right.
sir.
It
She's an
comes
archer.
through.
She can
We'll say
attack
for
from
sake
far
of
away.
brevity, here comes back to Scanlan's turn. Everyone's holding their action.
I'd like to
Getting-
get right up next to the orb.
Me too.
I do as well.
I'm getting up on the log so that I can get a clean shot at her.
Okay.
Vax, you with us?
Yes.
Dagger,
Kynan
dagger,
actually
dagger,
walks
dagger.
Along with you. And heads up.
Kynan. Oh, Kynan. Poor Kynan.
Ready?
I'm ready.
When you are.
For Percy.
Her hands are around the orb, and right now her eyes are darting around. She's trying to find a way to think her way out of this. And you see like her face kind of flash in a couple ways. And she looks around cunningly at all of you and kind of smiles.
Percy's killing you right now, not us. I drop it, and we all attack.
Stab.
Oblivion.
Oblivion.
Go ahead and roll. Croc. Roll your 3 attacks.
Reckless. Great. Everything.
Vex, roll your 2 attacks. Vex, roll your attacks. Scanlan.
29.
26 and 32.
God damn it, Gil, you better not fuck me. Not bad, Gil.
Gil is the person who made dice for the group.
Are we just doing melee attacks or like spell attacks or what?
Spell attacks is fine. She doesn't have a whole lot of energy left in her engine, and we don't even need to roll damage because how do you, Vox Machina, want to do this?
I want to sink my dagger into her arm and sever all around her shoulder and rip her fake arm off of her body.
The arm just plummets to the ground, the shadow kind of still coalescing at where the wound is. The shadow of Orthax kind of shoots up into where the exposed wound is. With that moment, who does what next?
I'd like to carve the Dorolo crest into her forehead.
As she's clutching this, you reach forward.
I mean, this is
grab her
all
by the
pretty
throat,
dark, but
her
yeah.
eyes wide, and you just slash across. You can see right now she has no strength to resist.
I'm gonna take the axe and go straight across her navel.
Keyleth.
I'm gonna take a grasping vine and choke her around her throat.
The vines wrap around and hold her in place. Vex.
I want an arrow straight through her heart and one in her mouth as she screams.
The scream is cut short as the arrow finds itself placed in the back of the skull, the other one straight to the chest. Grog, your blade cuts through the midsection as the other grasping
That's
vine
straight in
pulls
the show
your
too.
shot down.
One in the
Your
heart,
blade is
one in the
entirely
throat.
torn asunder in a final silent scream. The shadow of Orthax dissipates, sputters, and vanishes.
Do you like the fact that it was only Vex and Vax and not?
I mean, I think in that moment, so we've always talked about how this show does a really great job of like giving every single character their moment, and so we just watched a campaign moment where Keyleth was basically she was the only person that fought Raishan in the show. Granted, other people were fighting her as well, but Keyleth is the one that got that moment to feeblemind her, and so in the show they give Keyleth that moment, and she just takes her one-on-one. In this moment, again, like everyone's fighting her, but really in the moment, narratively, the person that we care about is Vex because she's the one that has the most emotional tie to Percy, and so like she shoots him in the heart and shoots him in the throat. Like that's the moment, right? That like, you know, I would say Critical Role fans, but even just like people watching the show, like you want Vex to get her revenge on her. So like from that perspective, yeah, what Alaska said. So as long as Vex got the final blow, that's what matters. And yeah, I agree. Like that's what we were looking for. Teresa says for me that moment without Scanlan trapping Ripley is not as good. So as long as Vex got her shots, that was important to me. Yeah, I mean, I do agree that it like that in the campaign, like it has a lot of meaning when like the entire group is like surrounding her and gets all their final shots in. But like the show did a really good job of like setting up. I mean, obviously, like Vex and Percy were in a relationship in the campaign as well, but like in the show, they made it to where like Percy said, "I love you," and Vex never said it back. So like she had this unfinished or unsaid truth that she never got to speak before Percy died. So like in the show, it makes sense that Vex is the one that gets that moment. But Teresa, I do agree with you that the moment where Scanlan traps Ripley is pretty strong, but also like I don't know, from someone who watches the campaign and like knows what is coming, like Scanlan is one of like the most clutch characters of the group. And so like, yeah, you don't really see that. you do get moments of it in the show, but like there's just so many
shines
moments.
better in
Yeah, there's just so many moments in the campaign where it's like Scanlan is just on top of it.
Yeah.
One thing that I do want to watch at some point, it probably won't happen until like The Legend of Vox Machina is over, but like I want to show you all the Scanlan songs from the campaign, because like the entire campaign, it's all like improv. Well, Sam, all the Scanlan songs are him improving covers essentially, or what do you call it? What that Weird Al Yankovic does. He takes a song and he makes it his own.
Like a parody.
Yeah, like he basically parodies like chart hits.
Yeah.
From like the time like the show was going on. And like it's one of the things that's like
It's good for the soul.
yeah, it's like whenever like Scanlan shows up, like, and he's playing him, and he goes back to doing like, because bards in D&D, they will inspire other characters, and basically it gives the characters like an additional dice that they get to roll to like improve their attack or ability check or whatever. And so like that's how he inspires people, is through song. And so like Sam would like sing a song, and then that would be the inspiration for that character. So like that always just like makes me feel like so good whenever like that happens, because I'm just like, it feels spoof. Thank you, Alaska. It just feels like home to me, because like I said, campaign 1 was my first campaign that I watched. I'm gonna butcher this name, Danny Barraful. The campaign is a lot better to me because the show lacks the team friendships. Them not chasing Ripley on the island made them seem so silly. I will agree that like the campaign does have a little bit of magic that
the show's never going to be able to do.
They try to replicate it in the show, but like you just can't replicate the friend camaraderie around the table, which is why I love the campaign so much. Like, yes, I like the stories, but like half the reason why I'm watching is because of the people at the table.
Yeah.
And their relationships and friendships and how they get along, and like literally just them having fun at a table. Like that is like so appealing to me as far as like content that I watch. Like, you know, I watch TV shows and I still watch movies and stuff like that, but like Critical Role is a big portion of my entertainment, just because of like there is like a wholesomeness of like friends having fun around a table that you just can't really replicate. Maggie says, I love Sam's song parodies. The original songs are great too, but the parodies always made me laugh and inspire me. I agree. Like the songs in the show have no right being as good as they are, but they are just straight up jams. Like, okay, I went and got dinner tonight before we came on the stream, and I was literally, somebody made a playlist on Spotify of all the Scanlan songs, but it also includes like the songs that like Matt sang in season 3. They are so good.
Yeah.
Like I can listen to those on repeat.
Music. Yeah.
Like Ruby of the Sea, and Circle the World. Like there was one more I think from season 3 that I'm missing, but like, that's not how it's supposed to be, or that's not how it's supposed to end. Whichever one, the song that happens when Percy passes away, like those 3 songs are just so good. Oh, Chateau Short Halt is also, I mean, yeah, they're so good. Like they don't have any business being as good as they are, but they are. But there is a magic to that in itself, because they are original songs. And there's also a magic to the parodies that Sam did during the campaign. And it's like, they're both different, but they're both great for different reasons. And so I do love both of them. But I do find myself like, I'm pretty sure I have the Scanlan songs like saved in like my watch later list. And then I just like, you know, having a rough week or like whatever, just like throw that thing on, and it's just like, oh, this just warms the soul. Like it just feels so good. We are coming up on we're hour and 46 minutes in. I'll say like we'll be on for like another 14 minutes, and then we'll be done. I think 2 hours is a good good place to call it. So if you guys have any questions that you want to ask or any more suggestions that we can get in the next 15 minutes, let's do that. And then we will probably end this at 8:30 my time so that Jason can go home because you got to work tomorrow.
I do, unfortunately. But I get to work from home.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
And
to kind of touch on this moment here of Ripley's death, obviously I'm coming from just the show perspective, and it has a lot more emotional weight just having Vex and Vax do it.
Yeah.
It's more personal,
and
I feel like I don't know if getting in the way is the correct term, but it feels like if the other characters were there, it sort of muddles that kind of personal, emotional set.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like obviously Vex has got to get the final blow. That's like a foundational piece to the scene.
Yeah.
But all of the build up of Vex's and Percy's relationship and not relationship through the episodes before, and then her obviously not saying I love you, to have it be the personal story of Vex and Vax, I think works for the show.
Yeah.
I love seeing the campaign.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously it is like a book where you get more in depth, you get more of the improvisation of everybody builds that camaraderie that is just, it's not going to be, it's like a lightning in a bottle. You're not going to be able to recreate it in the setting. I don't feel.
Yeah.
But for my perspective, it works 100%. This, having it just be the way the show did it. But that's not to trample on anybody's love of how they did it in the campaign.
Teresa says the interesting thing is that at the time that Percy died, Vex and Percy weren't together yet. Huh? Yeah, that's interesting. Again, I'm muddled on like the time of like what events happened where, but I think.
So did the bathtub scene not happen before? Like were they?
Yeah, I guess the bathtub scene would have happened after, if that's the case. The one thing I want to say though is like, obviously, I mean, because we have it still paused on like this episode, we're just looking at the screen, and Marisha's like obviously like distraught, and I think it's important to remember that like there's none of their scenes had happened yet, like an audiobook with commentary and outtakes all wrapped up together. Yeah, exactly. None of that happened yet. Yeah. I think it's important to remember that like, so in D&D, and I've had this conversation with you before about how like there's a mechanic for like a character that falls in battle and they can go unconscious and then they can pass away essentially. But then like if they pass away, you can still like resurrect that character. Like that's a mechanic in the game. And like once you reach a certain level, like it's not uncommon to be able to like bring somebody back if they pass away. And like while in the campaign that works because the time between those instances is so spread out. You know what I mean? Like, but then like when you condense it down to a show,
a 30-minute show,
it condenses everything, which means that like that'd be happening like every other episode, and it would get really old, and like it would feel like there's no stakes or anything like that because you can just constantly bring people back. So for the show, they really had to like pick their moments about like when it would happen and what they could do to make it feel earned, but also have like the emotional weight that you would expect it from a TV show. And so that's like one of the things I really loved about season 3 was that they actually went through with it with Percy, and then they kept him there for a few episodes to like make you think like, oh wait, like, and the cast also like, you know, they were saying things like before the season came out, like, you know, things have been changed. Like just because it happened one way in the campaign doesn't mean it's going to happen that way in the show. And like, you know, they could have been talking about a few different things like with Whitestone being attacked and stuff like that. But like when you're going into the season with like the mindset of like, oh, anything could happen, they could change something from the campaign, even though like for me, again, I know what happens after season 3, like as far as like the campaign's concerned. Like, and it still had me being like, could they really not bring back Percy? Like, my thought was like, oh, but they might not bring him back in season 3. They might wait till season 4 to bring him back, you know? And so like, that was kind of the thing that I really appreciated, was that they were able to do things in season 3 that kept me on my toes and kept me feeling like, oh, I don't like,
you don't know.
I know what happens in the campaign, but I don't know what happens in the show. Like, I don't know how they're going to approach that. Yeah, passing through says like an audiobook and commentary and outtakes all wrapped up and together. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about the campaign, which that is a perfect way to describe it, because it is kind of like that, because they are kind of like messing around at the table, making jokes and stuff like that, like you would in outtakes. And then yeah, the audiobook is just like Matt just weaving the world, and obviously the players with their characters. Yeah, Percy and Vex were a slow burn. Yeah, that's a good point, because like in the show, they kind of were like, at least at the beginning, like before Percy died, it was kind of like a flash in the pan kind of thing. It was like they got together, like they like rushed into like the physical aspects of the relationship. Vex didn't want to commit, and then he passed away, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, but yeah, I'll have to go back and watch campaign 1 again, I guess, because why not? Like I'll enjoy it, and I obviously need to be refreshed on some of the things that happened there. We got 8 more minutes of this live stream left, so if you guys have any comments or questions, go ahead and get those in. I will just kind of start to wind things down a little bit by saying, like, I really appreciate everybody who showed up to the live stream. This has been really fun for me. I'm glad that it's all worked out. Like it went off without a hitch. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with us. Again, I hope that we can do this more. Yeah, Jason, thank you for joining me on the live stream. We were talking before we went live that Jason and I haven't seen each other in person since 2020.
Yeah.
So like it's been 4 years.
Just video calls, yeah.
Yeah.
Just texting and video calls.
Yeah, which is funny, because we met because we worked at an amusement park together, and that was, oh gosh, 13 years ago.
At least, because
yeah.
I was
2011.
Yeah.
Or was it 2010, 2011? Because we both worked there for 2 seasons, right?
I went there. No, I stayed there longer.
Oh, okay. I was there. Okay, yeah.
I started when I was 16. So.
What? Oh my gosh. I didn't know that you were that much younger than I am.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm so old. Do you think Thordak should have been the season finale? I don't. And the reason why I don't is because that's not really how it happened in the campaign. In the campaign, they took care of Thordak, and then Raishan was the final. And so having Raishan be the last of the Conclave to fall, I feel like fits. It fit with how I kind of expected it to go. Which, you know, we just got done having a conversation about how they kept me on my toes and stuff like that. I mean, they still kept me on my toes with Raishan, because I didn't expect her to actually like, go into Thordak's body, because that didn't happen in the campaign. So yeah, no, I don't think Thordak should have been in the finale, because, I mean, obviously just from the standpoint of their story, like they had it to the point where Raishan leaves her body and goes into Thordak. So like, obviously that, like, they're not going to do that in season 4. But I think I think they had to wrap up the Conclave in season 3 so that they can move on to what comes next in season 4. Let's see. Before you go, what's something you want to see happen in season 4? Okay. I'll say this. I don't.
Can you answer without spoiling something?
I mean,
and I don't know context.
It's not necessarily a spoiler per se, but it would tell you, it would inform you of a character that reappears. But they might not reappear in the show. They might not do that because they already planted seeds. So in season 2 with Garmelie, when after he transports them back to a White Stone, he turns into that character with the orange hair and the green robes and stuff like that. That character reappears in the campaign. He might not in the show. I don't know because
I think he said that because I had asked. I think it was maybe in that episode, end of that episode, you had said he may come back because he does come back in the campaign. Because I asked who the hell is that?
Yeah. I want to see Garmelie, aka you know who, show up in season 4. That's what I want to see. As in something that's hinted at the end of season 3. Well, I mean, at the end of season 3, they're talking about the groups going off on their own. I mean, obviously, like Keyleth continuing her Aramente would be cool to see. I mean, we got to see her Earth trial, which we didn't get to see in the campaign. So her water trial, I guess, would be the last one because she mastered air, fire, and earth. So water's all that's left. So, and I know what that would lead to. So that'd be pretty cool. But also, like, I'm kind of wondering how they're going to handle the whole like Scanlan situation, and that's all I'm going to say. For those of you who know, you know. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if they work that into season 4. And again, it kind of depends on like what their plan is. Like, if season 4 is the end, there's a lot to kind of like compress into that season. Because I could see them doing season 4 and season 5 with the content that they have left from campaign 1. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle season 4. I agree with her being the last, but I personally felt the Thordak fight felt like a finale, and 9/12 felt like season 4 episodes 1 through 3. The vibe shifted to me, at least. I can kind of see that. I mean, we kind of made that comment too, like that the Thordak fight felt like a finale.
Yes.
Like it felt, I mean, so big, which, I mean, like obviously they wanted to bring Percy back in season 3. So like they had to get there, but they wanted to wait. Right. And I understand that. So like, I'm actually impressed that they kept Thordak as episode 9 and then still had more story to tell. So yeah, in a way, like those last 3 episodes you could say were set up, but they really weren't. Those 3 episodes were less of setup and more of wrap up. Because again, Sam Riegel has said that they didn't know that they're getting a season 4. So like they can't have Thordak be the finale and then not have any tying up of loose threads.
Yeah.
So that's probably why the format of those episodes came out the way they did. What I would want to see in season 4 is Vex doing the Grey Hunt. Teresa, I can't really remember if there was much. She did have some like, I think she did have some like trials for the Grey Hunt. Yes, there are moments in the Fey realm to be had in season 4 for sure. Maggie says, I would love to see more Aramente stuff with Keyleth and Vax, but also some Whitestone content with Percy and Vex. I agree. Amazon, not green light early, screws us over. Puffy Cloud says, a bakery in Whitestone. Gotta have the Slayer's cake. You know, Amazon is a business, right? So like they want to know that there's an audience there.
Yeah.
And like
They wanna see the
obviously Critical Role has a lot of fans, but they are still considered a small entertainment company. So, you know, when you talk about Critical Role, like Legend of Vox Machina versus like something like Invincible, you know, or The Boys or things like that, like those are the types of shows that Critical Role is quote unquote competing with for like, you know, like who has higher like viewership and stuff like that. So, you know, again, like Amazon wants to know that they're going to get their return on their investment before they invest in another season. So, all right, guys, with that, we're going to wrap this up. It's 8:30. We've been on here for 2 hours, which, I mean, thank you guys for hanging out. Like, this has been a lot of fun for me. Again, hopefully we'll do this stuff more often. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm assuming if you're all here that you've subscribed to the channel. So again, thank you for your support. I'll keep trying to do my best to make sure that I'm bringing value to this for you guys so that you enjoy hanging out with us, enjoy watching our videos and stuff like that. But thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight, and we will catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.